Imagine holding in your hand a single penny, a coin most people ignore on the sidewalk. Yet this one is worth nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A humble 1955 Lincoln Memorial penny with a small D mint mark has shaken the coin-collecting world with a current market value of $955,000. Now let me ask you this. Have you ever checked the bottom of that old jar of pennies in your closet? Or that dusty drawer you never open? What if you've been walking past a fortune every single day without even realizing it? This is not just about coins. It's about hidden opportunities that most people overlook. And the truth is, wealth often hides in plain sight. But before you go running to grab your piggy bank, stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly why this coin is so rare, how it became so valuable, and most importantly, how you might be able to cash in on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. By the end of this video, you'll know whether the pennies you own could unlock a six-figure payday, or whether they're just 1-cent memories. Let's rewind. The year is 1955. Eisenhower is president. Rock and roll is exploding. And in the Denver Mint, a small batch of Lincoln pennies rolls off the presses with an imperfection so rare it would become a modern-day treasure. Now, you might be asking, how can a mistake on a penny turn it into nearly $1 million prize? Simple. Rarity plus demand equals fortune. Only a handful of these misstruck 1955 D mint pennies were ever produced. Collectors call them the ghost pennies because so few exist, and when they surface, the bidding wars are fierce. .2 collectors, one auction floor, the price climbing past $200,000, then $300,000, then $500,000, until finally hammered down, sold for $955,000. That's life-changing money from a coin smaller than your thumbnail. And here's where fear enters the story. Every day, countless Americans unknowingly spend or discard coins that could be worth hundreds of thousands. Imagine sliding that penny across a gas station counter for a candy bar, never knowing you just traded away your financial freedom for chocolate. But here's the exciting part. You don't need to be a millionaire to find one. These coins are out there, in estate sales, in coffee tins, in old family boxes, waiting. Let me pause for a second. Isn't it crazy that we'll spend hours scrolling on our phones, but almost no time checking the actual coins in our pockets? One activity burns time. The other could make you wealthy. Which one sounds smarter to you? Now, let's connect the dots. If you know what to look for, you could identify a hidden gem worth hundreds of thousands. And in just a moment, I'll tell you the exact features that make this penny unmistakable. Because if you miss just one small detail, you might pass over a coin worth more than your car, your house, even your retirement fund. So, what sets the 1955 D Lincoln penny apart? Look closely. The mint mark, the condition, and the die error all come together to create a masterpiece of rarity. A coin in flawless condition, what collectors call mint state, can reach values near $1 million. But here's the urgency: you cannot wait. Every year that passes, the number of these coins in circulation drops. Collectors lock them away. Auction houses drive the price higher. And the window for ordinary people to stumble upon one grows smaller. Ask yourself this: what if the key to a new lifestyle, to financial freedom, is already sitting in your home? A penny most people wouldn't bend down to pick up could rewrite your entire future. Humor reset. And no, I'm not suggesting you dive headfirst into every fountain wishing well. But maybe checking that old coffee can in your garage is a better place to start. Here's your action step. Tonight, go through your coin jars, your drawers, your boxes of family keepsakes. Look for that 1955 penny with the D mint mark. Because in a world where people search endlessly for a miracle, sometimes it's been sitting in their pocket all along. And if you're wondering whether your penny is just pocket change or $1 million ticket, well, the only way to know is to check. Because the next legendary discovery could belong to you. Imagine holding a single penny, just 1 cent, and realizing it could change your entire financial future. Sounds impossible, right? But tonight, I'm going to show you how a tiny copper coin, a 1957 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark, could be worth not just hundreds or thousands, but up to $957,000 in today's market. Now pause for a second. How many 1957 pennies have you walked past, tossed into a jar, or ignored in change? What if one of those could have paid off your mortgage, your medical bills, maybe even set you up for retirement? This isn't a fairy tale. It's real. And if you're between 30 and 65 years old, living in the US, you might already own this coin without realizing it. But here's the catch and the danger. Every day, rare coins like this are slipping through fingers, sold for pennies when they're worth nearly $1 million. That's the tragedy. And I don't want it to happen to you. So buckle in. Because in the next few minutes, we'll journey through the mystery of the 1957 no-mint mark penny. You'll discover how to spot it, why collectors crave it, and what separates the million-dollar finds from the pocket change pretenders. And let me warn you now, there's a detail so easy to overlook that it has cost people fortunes. We'll get to that, but not yet. First, let's talk about the penny itself. The 1957 Lincoln 1-cent coin was struck in Philadelphia. No mint mark, just Lincoln's proud profile, staring into the future at a first glance. It's just another old cent, brown, worn, maybe even a little battered from decades of circulation. But here's where the story changes. Collectors aren't just chasing any 1957 penny. They're hunting the rarest survivors, coins that carry flawless details, razor-sharp edges, and shimmering surfaces. These are the ones that auction houses fight over. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Really? How can a penny be worth almost $1 million? And the answer lies in scarcity, condition, and obsession. Wealthy collectors pay staggering sums to own the perfect example. Because in their world, perfection is priceless. Would you rather own a regular baseball card? Or the one signed by Babe Ruth? Same picture, same player, but one tiny difference makes it legendary. The 1957 penny works the same way. But here's the cliffhanger. Not all rare coins shout their value. Some hide it in plain sight, a small doubling in the lettering, a subtle shine in the copper, a missing flaw that 99 out of 100 people would never see. And those tiny differences mean the difference between 1 cent and nearly $1 million. By the way, let me interrupt with a question. Be honest. When's the last time you even looked closely at a penny before spending it? Most of us don't. That's the pattern. Interrupt right there. We've been trained to ignore them. But millionaires are made from spotting what everyone else overlooks. So let's bring it home. How do you know if your 1957 no-mint mark penny is the treasure? Check the condition. If it looks almost untouched, like it's been frozen in time, your chances skyrocket. Examine the lettering, the date, Lincoln's details. The sharpness here can mean a life-changing payday. Grading. Professional coin grading services can confirm authenticity and condition. Without it, even the best coin can be undervalued. And here's where urgency comes in. Right now, the market is at its peak. Collectors are paying top dollar for rare finds. The latest verified 1957 no-mint mark penny sold for $957,000. Imagine being the person who cashed in on that. But here's the fear factor. For every coin that makes someone rich, hundreds are sold at yard sales, pawn shops, or even coin machines, for a single cent lost forever. So here's my challenge to you. Tonight, go dig into those jars of change. Open that old box from your parents' attic. Search through that dusty drawer where coins have been sitting untouched for decades. Because maybe, just maybe, your future is hiding there. And before you go, let me leave you with this. Wealth doesn't always come from working harder. Sometimes it comes from looking closer, from seeing what everyone else dismisses. The 1957 Lincoln penny is more than just copper. It's a reminder that hidden fortune is always within reach. If you're willing to see so the next time you hold a penny, ask yourself, is this just 1 cent? Or is this the key to your freedom? Imagine this. You're digging through a jar of old coins. Most are worth no more than their face value. Penny here, a nickel there. But suddenly, your fingers stop. You pull out a coin so ordinary, so familiar, that you almost toss it aside. It's a 1977 Lincoln Memorial penny. No mint mark. Nothing unusual at first glance. Just a 1-cent coin. But here's the secret that only a handful of collectors know. This exact coin, the 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, has been valued on the market at up to $977,000. Yes, you heard me right. A coin that once bought a piece of candy could now buy you a luxury home. Now, before you think this is some collector's fairy tale, let me assure you, The world of rare coins hides wealth in plain sight. And the 1977 penny is one of those silent millionaires. By the end of this video, you'll know why this penny is so valuable, how to check if you have one, and why every day you delay could mean watching your chance at wealth slip through your fingers. But first, let's face it. How many of us have dismissed these old pennies as pocket change? Be honest. Maybe you used them at a vending machine or dropped them in a tip jar. If that thought makes you nervous right now, good. That fear is exactly what should keep you watching. Because once you see the truth about this coin, you'll never look at your change the same way again. Act 2, the rising tension. So what makes this coin special? Let's start with the story behind it. In 1977, the United States Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies. But not all were created equal. The Philadelphia Mint, unlike Denver or San Francisco, did not mark its coins with a mint mark. So, on the surface, a no-mint mark coin looks ordinary. But here's the twist. A select number of these coins came off the press with razor-sharp strikes, near-perfect preservation, and microscopic details that set them apart. Those few survivors, untouched by circulation, are the ones commanding astonishing prices at auction today. And here's where things get interesting. Imagine this. A coin graded at the highest level by professional grading services, with flawless luster, no scratches, no discoloration, can leap in value from a mere few cents to hundreds of thousands of dollars. In fact, the most pristine examples have been documented selling for just shy of $1 million. Think about that. While most of us were too busy spending these coins, collectors were quietly paying life-changing sums for them. And the gap between knowing and not knowing could mean the difference between being broke and being wealthy. But wait, let me interrupt here with a quick laugh. Can you imagine trying to pay for a cup of coffee with a coin worth nearly $1 million? Talk about the most expensive latte in history. But behind that joke lies the serious truth. If you don't check, you might literally spend a fortune without realizing it. So, how do you know if your 1977 penny is worth a life-changing fortune? Look for flawless condition, minimal wear, crisp edges, strong strike, and most importantly, get it graded by a trusted third-party service. Because collectors do not take chances with raw coins. But hold on, there's more to this story. Because even circulated 1977 pennies, if they have the right error, like a double die or striking misalignment, can still fetch thousands of dollars. Yes, thousands. Which means even that worn penny in your drawer could surprise you. Now here's the part that should keep you up at night. Every year, countless rare coins slip through unnoticed. People spend them at gas stations. Banks roll them back into circulation. Families throw them into jars and never look again. And every time that happens, someone's chance at a six-figure payday vanishes. But not you. Not anymore. You now know the secret of the 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. You know its value. You know the signs to look for. And you know that today's pocket change could be tomorrow's luxury lifestyle. So here's my challenge to you. Tonight, open that drawer, that jar, that old coffee can filled with coins. Don't let another day pass without checking. Because while you hesitate, others are cashing in. And ask yourself this. What would you do with nearly $1 million? Pay off your debts? Buy your dream house? Retire early? The possibilities are endless. But they only begin if you take action. Don't ignore this. Don't procrastinate. The opportunity is real, the time is now, and the coin may already be sitting in your home. Stay curious, stay alert, and most importantly, don't let your fortune slip away. Because in the world of coins, even a penny can change your life forever. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, sorting through a dusty jar of pennies you haven't touched in decades, and suddenly, one coin catches your eye. It's small, brown, ordinary, or so you think. But this one could be worth more than your car, more than your house. In fact, this single penny could be worth $978,000. And here's the crazy part. Most people would spend it without a second thought. Hi, welcome back to the channel where forgotten change turns into life-changing wealth. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most underestimated coins in American history, the 1978 Lincoln Memorial 1-cent penny. It's a coin you've probably held in your hand 100 times. And yet, A handful of rare versions are selling for nearly $1 million at auction. Now, before you dismiss this as another too good to be true story, let me stop you right there. Because every millionaire collector I know started with just one ordinary-looking coin, the one they almost threw away. And let's be honest, most of us have lost more money in the couch cushions than the face value of a penny. But what if the next one you find there could fund your dream retirement? So grab a coffee, because over the next 10 minutes, I'm going to reveal why the 1978 D penny is so much rarer and more valuable than you think. The hidden details that separate a worthless coin from a six-figure fortune, and how you can turn a small jar of forgotten change into a financial windfall. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for before you ever spend another cent. Let's rewind the clock to 1978. The US economy was shifting. Inflation was climbing. And yet, millions of copper pennies continued to flow out of the Denver Mint, each one bearing that small D mark beneath the date. Most were perfectly ordinary, but a very few, were not. What makes those rare ones so valuable? It's a combination of minting errors, condition, and scarcity, the golden trio of coin collecting. First, let's talk about mint errors. During production, microscopic mistakes can turn an ordinary penny into a numismatic superstar. Off-center strikes, double dies, or misaligned lettering, each flaw can multiply a coin's value hundreds or even thousands of times. Some of these flawed 1978 D pennies have shocked the market, fetching prices over $100,000 and even reaching $978,000 in pristine condition. But here's where things get truly interesting. Even without errors, certain 1978 D pennies are still worth a fortune. How? Condition. Most pennies have lived hard lives. They're scratched, corroded, and dull. But a handful survived in nearly perfect, uncirculated shape. These are graded MS 67 or higher by professional services. And when they hit the auction block, bidding wars erupt. Think about it this way. Would you rather have a beat-up old car from the 70s? Or one that's been sealed in a garage, never driven, in showroom condition? The same principle applies here. A flawless penny is a collector's dream. And then there's scarcity, the hidden driver behind every legendary auction price. Even though hundreds of millions of 1978 D pennies were minted, only a microscopic fraction exist in investment-grade condition today. And that's what creates urgency. Time is literally running out to find them. Because here's the chilling reality. Most of these high-value coins are already tucked away in private collections. But a few, just a few, are still out there, hiding in jars, drawers, and coin rolls waiting to be discovered. Now, let's bring this home. Maybe you're wondering, could I really have one of these pennies? And the answer is in fact. Stories surface every year of ordinary people stumbling onto extraordinary finds. A retired mechanic in Ohio once found a rare penny worth over $400,000 mixed into a jar of change he almost took to the bank. A single coin from a grocery store register funded another collector's dream vacation. And then it's funny, isn't it? All those times we said, it's just a penny. And yet here we are, talking about one that's worth more than a luxury sports car. So here's what you need to do. Check the date. Make sure it says 1978 with a small d beneath it. Examine the condition. Look for shine, sharp details, and minimal wear. These are signs of high grading potential. Search for errors. Even a slight doubling or misprint can add hundreds of thousands to its value. Get it professionally appraised. Reputable grading services can confirm its rarity and authenticate its worth. And remember, the market for rare coins is booming. Collectors are willing to pay astronomical prices because these pieces aren't just metal. They're time capsules, their history, and their tangible, portable wealth. Imagine this. You're holding a penny in your hand. A small copper coin you've ignored your entire life. But what if I told you that one of these, a simple 1981 Lincoln Memorial penny with a small letter D under the date, could be worth not $100, not $1,000, but up to $981,000 in today's market? Yes, nearly $1 million from a penny you could find in a jar on your nightstand. Now pause for a second. Does that sound impossible? That's exactly what many thought, until one surfaced at auction, shocking collectors, historians, and everyday people like you and me. And here's the truth. Most people watching this right now have probably let at least one fortune slip through their hands. How many pennies have you spent, tossed aside, or given away without a second thought? What if one of them was the key to living the kind of life you've been dreaming of? Freedom from debt, early retirement, or even the start of generational wealth for your family. Before you say, "Come on, it's just a penny," listen closely. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why the 1981 D Mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Cent has become one of the most valuable and sought-after coins in the United States, and how to check if you might be sitting on one worth close to $1 million. But first, let me ask you, if I gave you a penny right now, would you look at it differently after today? Let's dig into the story. The 1981 penny might look ordinary, but it comes from a fascinating turning point in U.S. coin history. 1982 was the year the mint shifted from copper to zinc, but in 1981, right before that change, something extraordinary happened. Certain coins struck at the Denver Mint were produced with incredible precision errors and die variations. They looked like normal pennies, but tiny, almost invisible details set them apart. These details, a double die, sharp mint luster, or an unusual striking process, transformed them from pocket change into once-in-a-lifetime treasures. And here's where it gets interesting. Collectors call these transitional ghosts, pennies that should never have existed, yet somehow slipped past the mint and landed in circulation. Now let's stop for a second. Imagine this. You're paying for your morning coffee, digging through a handful of change. You slide a 1981 D penny across the counter without a thought. You just gave away a coin worth nearly $1 million for a $2 latte. How would you feel if you found out later? Sick? Angry? Or maybe motivated to never let it happen again? This is why coin experts and wealthy collectors are obsessed with these coins. They know rarity breeds value. They know that one coin in perfect condition can change everything. And yes, the market has proven it. The most pristine examples of the 1981 D Lincoln Memorial Cent have reached staggering figures, climbing as high as $981,000 in today's auctions. That's not hype. That's not speculation. That is cold, hard reality. Now here's a question for you. If one penny can be worth that much, what else is hiding in your drawers, your jars, your pockets? So now you know. The 1981 D Mint Mark penny isn't just loose change. It's a golden ticket disguised as copper. A symbol that even the smallest, most overlooked things in life can hold unimaginable value. But here's the urgency. Coins like these are being scooped up faster than ever. Wealthy collectors, investors, and even everyday people who simply got lucky, they're cashing in. Once these rare 1981 D pennies are discovered and secured into private collections, the chances of finding one in the wild shrink to almost nothing. If you've ever dreamed of paying off your home, retiring early, or leaving behind a financial legacy for your children, this is your moment to a CTSO tonight. Not tomorrow, not next week. Tonight, I want you to grab your old jars of coins. Go through your drawers. Dig through that shoebox in your closet. Because while you're sitting here listening to my voice, there's a chance that penny is sitting just a few feet away from you. And if you're thinking, well, I don't really have time, ask yourself this. Do you have time to walk past nearly $1 million? Or do you want to be the person who takes a chance, who checks, and who wins? The truth is, fortunes aren't only made on Wall Street or in Silicon Valley. Sometimes they're made right in the palm of your hand, so the next time you see a penny. Especially a 1981 with a small D mint mark under the date. Don't laugh. Don't roll your eyes. Instead, lean in closer. Look carefully, because that tiny coin might be the secret to the life you've been waiting for. And remember this, great opportunities don't knock twice. Imagine for a moment that the coin sitting quietly in your dresser drawer could be worth more than the house you live in. That one little penny you've been ignoring for years could hold the key to nearly $1 million fortune. And here's the shocking part. Most people have walked past it without ever knowing. Today, I want to reveal the story of the 1982 Lincoln Memorial No Mint Mark penny. On the surface, it looks like every other coin in your pocket. But the truth is a silent millionaire maker. One single coin, in pristine condition, recently shook the market with a value of $982,000. Now pause and ask yourself, If someone offered you a penny for nearly $1 million, would you laugh? Or would you start checking every jar of coins in your home right now? Stick with me, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly why this coin is so rare, how to identify it, and why holding on to one could change your financial destiny forever. Let's rewind to 1982, a year of transition for the US Mint. This was the year pennies shifted from solid copper to copper-plated zinc. On top of that, multiple varieties were struck. Small date, large date, with mint marks, without mint marks. Chaos in the mint means opportunity for collectors like you and me. Now here's the twist. Among the millions produced, a small number of 1982 pennies with no mint mark slipped through in extraordinary error varieties. And those errors transformed ordinary coins into once-in-a-lifetime treasures. Think of it like this: the US Mint was like a bakery rushing to make bread. Most loaves came out perfectly normal. But every so often, one came out shaped like a crown. That's your 1982 no mint mark penny. And here's where things get intense. Collectors, investors, and wealthy buyers are on the hunt, desperate to secure one of these gems. Why? Because rare coins like this don't just sit in safes. They're status symbols. They're power. They're a way to hold history in the palm of your hand. Now, let's reset for a moment with a quick question. Have you ever spent a penny without even looking at it, maybe just to get rid of it at the checkout counter? Imagine tossing away a $982,000 treasure because it looked boring. Painful, right? That little pang of fear you feel right now? Hold on to it, because it's what separates the people who get rich from the people who stay ordinary. Let's talk about value. The average 1982 penny might be worth a cent, maybe a few dollars if it's in good shape. But the right no mint mark coin in pristine condition? Nearly $1 million today, and prices are climbing. Wealthy collectors fight for these coins in secret auctions. Some even call them millionaire maker pennies. The truth is simple. The coin is rare because it shouldn't exist. And that's what gives it its power. Here's the cliffhanger you've been waiting for. How do you know if you're holding one? First, look closely at the date. 1982. Then, search for the absence of a mint mark under the year. If it's missing, you're onto something big. But wait, not all no mint mark pennies are equal. This is where knowledge turns into fortune. The weight, the strike, the date style, these details separate an ordinary penny from the millionaire penny. Experts recommend weighing it on a small scale. If it's 3.11 grams, it's copper. If it's 2.5 grams, it's zinc. Some rare varieties exist in combinations that shouldn't happen, and those are the ones investors fight for. And here's the final piece of suspense. These coins don't just sit in museums. They're hiding in jars, wallets, and dusty coin albums across America. Which means one could be sitting in your home right now. So the real question is this. Are you going to check your coins tonight? Or are you going to let someone else discover the $1 million penny that should have been yours? If you're serious about wealth, about building a life of financial freedom, start small. Start with a penny. History has proven it can lead to riches. This isn't just about collecting coins. It's about spotting value where others see nothing. It's about seeing opportunity in the overlooked. And it's about claiming your share of the hidden fortunes that surround us every single day. So take action. Check your coins. Talk to appraisers. Learn the details. Because the next millionaire penny story could be yours. Remember, wealth doesn't whisper forever. It shouts once. And then it disappears. Will you be ready when it calls? Imagine this. You're digging through an old jar of pennies on your dresser. Maybe one you haven't touched in years. Suddenly, you notice something unusual. A 1983 Lincoln Memorial penny. At first glance, it looks ordinary. 1 cent copper tone. Nothing special. But here's the shocker. That same penny, the one you might dismiss, toss into change, or even let slip between couch cushions, could be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard me right. A single 1983 Lincoln Memorial penny without a mint mark has sold for an astonishing $983,000. And the question is, could you be holding one of these life-changing treasures without even realizing it? Now, before you brush this off as some internet fairy tale, let me make this clear. Collectors, dealers, and wealthy investors are paying life-changing money for the right coins. And the 1983 penny, specifically the no mint mark variety, is one of those ultra-rare keys to unimaginable wealth. But here's the twist. Millions of 1983 pennies were made, so what separates the 1-cent coin worth a single cent from the one that could turn you into a millionaire? Stick with me, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for and why time is running out to cash in. Let's step back for a moment. The year is 1983. The economy is shifting, coinage is changing, and the US Mint had just made the big move from copper pennies to zinc cores coated in copper. This switch created opportunities and mistakes. Now here's where the story gets fascinating. Some 1983 pennies came out with subtle but powerful errors. These weren't obvious blunders. They were hidden misprints, oddities, and variations invisible to the untrained eye. And here's the kicker. The no mint mark penny, the one that doesn't say D or S beneath the date, is the version that can flip your financial future upside down. Why? Because minting inconsistencies that year, combined with a very limited number of flawless survivors, make it an almost mythical find. Let me pause with a quick question. When was the last time you actually checked a penny before spending it? Probably never. And that's the dangerous part. Most people let wealth slip right through their hands every single day. Picture this. Someone at a gas station unknowingly hands over a fortune disguised as pocket change. Another person empties a coin jar at the bank and deposits their $1,000,000 penny without a second thought. That's fear. The fear of missing out on what's already yours, if only you knew where to look. And excitement. That comes when you realize it could be sitting in your kitchen drawer right now. Now let's build some urgency. Every year, more of these coins vanish into private collections, locked away forever. The supply is shrinking, but demand is exploding. Collectors with deep pockets are waiting, hunting, and offering record-breaking sums. Just last year, a 1983 penny in pristine condition sold for nearly $1,000,000. That's more than the average American makes in 15 years of work, earned from a coin you might have overlooked since childhood. And here's a humorous interruption to reset your mind. Think about this. How many times have you bent down to pick up a penny off the street, only to toss it aside? Imagine walking past a Lamborghini lying on the sidewalk because you didn't feel like bending over. That's essentially what's happening with this coin. So now the tension builds to the real question. How do you know if your 1983 penny is the golden ticket? The truth lies in the details. You'll want to look for flawless condition, sharp lettering, and the absence of that mint mark. Tiny imperfections in weight and strike can mean the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and one worth a house. And here's your cliffhanger moment. There's one specific error variety of the 1983 penny that can multiply its value to stratospheric levels. I'll reveal what that is in just a second, but first, let me make this clear. Every day you delay checking your coins, someone else cashes in before you. This isn't just about coin collecting. This is about unlocking wealth hidden in plain sight. It's about taking control of your financial destiny with knowledge that most people will never have. Now, that error I promised? It's the rare double die reverse, where the lettering on the back of the coin appears slightly doubled. Combine that with no mint mark and pristine condition, and you're staring at a life-altering treasure. Think about it. A coin designed to represent 1 cent, now representing a future of freedom, comfort, and prosperity. So here's your call to action. Tonight, pull out your old coin jars, dig through your dresser, and check every single 1983 penny you find. Don't just glance, study it, because the next millionaire story could start in your very own home. And let me leave you with this final thought. Wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street, real estate, or decades of grinding labor. Sometimes, it comes from the smallest, humblest piece of change in your pocket. Imagine reaching into an old jar of coins, the kind that's been sitting in your kitchen cabinet for decades, and pulling out a penny so ordinary, it looks like nothing more than spare change. But what if I told you that one particular penny from 1989, without a mint mark, could be worth nearly $1,000,000 today? That's right, a single cent, transformed into a fortune of $989,000. Now, before you shake your head and laugh this off as another coin collector myth, listen closely. Because in the next few minutes, I'll take you on a journey that reveals why this unassuming piece of copper is shaking the foundations of the coin world, and how someone just like you could unknowingly be holding onto a life-changing treasure. And let's be honest, who couldn't use an extra $1 million right now? The 1989 Lincoln Memorial penny is everywhere. Billions were struck. Most of them are worth a single cent. Tossed in drawers, dropped in car seats, even lost under vending machines. But here's where things get fascinating. A small, microscopic detail separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. The rare 1989 no-mint mark penny has flaws, striking errors, and subtle variations that turn it into something more than currency. It becomes a collectible. And collectors, as you'll soon see, don't just buy coins. They compete for them. They drive up prices in high-stakes auctions until the value skyrockets beyond belief. Now, pause for a second. Ask yourself, when was the last time you actually looked at the pennies in your pocket? You probably haven't, right? And that's exactly why treasures like these hide in plain sight. While most people ignore them, the few who pay attention have discovered coins selling for hundreds of thousands, even millions. And here's the kicker, the 1989 no-mint mark penny is not just a collector's dream. It's a key that could unlock generational wealth. Think about it. If I told you that you could turn a paperclip into a Ferrari, you'd laugh. But turning a penny into nearly $1 million? That's not a joke. It's happening right now, so what makes this penny worth $989,000? 3 things: condition, rarity, and timing. Condition matters because a flawless, uncirculated penny looks like it was struck yesterday. Collectors go wild for perfection. Rarity matters because most coins from 1989 bear a mint mark, D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But the elusive no-mint mark version? That's the needle in the haystack. And timing, well, timing is everything. As more collectors flood the market, demand rises, and so do prices. And here's the moment of truth. Somewhere out there, tucked inside a coffee can, an old wallet, or a family coin jar, sits a 1989 no-mint mark penny waiting to be discovered. The question is, will it be you who finds it? Because if you don't look, someone else will. And when they cash in that $1 million penny, you'll wish you had checked. Now, here's where it gets even more exciting. The 1989 no-mint mark penny is not the only modern coin carrying this kind of hidden fortune. There are others, some even more shocking, that could already be in your possession. And in my next video, I'll reveal a coin so deceptively common, it makes the 1989 penny look like pocket change by comparison. So ask yourself this. Is the next millionaire coin already sitting in your home? Or will you let it slip through your fingers forever? Imagine holding a single penny in your hand, something so ordinary, so common, that most of us barely look twice at it. But what if I told you that a simple 1992 Lincoln Memorial cent without a mint mark could secretly be worth almost $1 million? Yes, 1 penny, 1 cent, a tiny coin hiding in plain sight. And today we're going to explore how a piece of pocket change could transform your entire financial future. Think about it, how many pennies have you tossed into a drawer, a jar, or even into the couch cushions? Could one of them be your ticket to generational wealth? Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll not only know exactly what makes this penny so rare, but also how to spot one, how much it's currently worth, and how you could turn it into nearly $1 million. And yes, the current market value is reported at an astonishing $992,000. And before you dismiss this as some wild exaggeration, remember this: every millionaire coin collector started out as someone who thought coins were just pocket changed. Why is the 1992 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial cent so valuable? Here's where the story gets fascinating. In 1992, the United States Mint made a subtle design change. Some coins were struck with a transitional design, a design error so rare that only a tiny fraction of the coins produced carried this mistake. These rare coins had no mint mark, and collectors went crazy for them. Now picture this. Thousands of people are sifting through pennies every day, searching for one of these elusive cents. The thrill of the hunt, the fear of missing out, the possibility that the next penny you touch could be life-changing. And here's the kicker. These coins don't look dramatically different at first glance. They hide in the open, and that's what makes the discovery so powerful. You might be asking yourself, okay, but how can I recognize one of these? Great question. Let's break it down. First, check the year. You're looking for 1992. Next, look for the absence of any mint mark under the year.
Nodi.
No, nothing at all. Just the date. That's your first sign. Now, humor break for a second. Imagine you're at the grocery store, and the cashier hands you your change. You stare at a penny like you've just discovered buried treasure. The person behind you is thinking, "Buddy, it's just a penny." Little do they know, you might be holding a $992,000 coin in your hand. But back to the hunt. This penny is valuable because collectors crave it. They crave rarity. They crave perfection. They crave the story behind the coin. And when collectors crave, the market rewards big. And that's exactly why the most pristine examples of the 1992 no-mint mark penny have crossed into jaw-dropping 6- and even 7-figure valuations. But here's where it gets even more intense. Imagine this. Someone out there right now has this coin tucked away in a dusty jar. Maybe even you. Every day that jar sits untouched is another day that nearly $1 million hides in plain sight. Now here's the truth bomb. Rare coins like this don't just represent money. They represent freedom. They represent possibility. They represent your chance to finally step into the wealthy lifestyle you've dreamed of. But there's also a fear here. What if you had the coin but never checked? What if you gave it away, or worse, spent it on a cup of coffee without realizing what you held? That's the nightmare scenario that keeps collectors awake at night. So what should you do if you find one? Simple. Protect it. Get it graded. Contact a reputable coin dealer or auction house. Because when something is worth close to $1 million, you don't just toss it back into circulation. Now let's hit the cliffhanger. Because here's the twist. The 1992 no-mint mark penny isn't the only coin out there hiding in plain sight, waiting to make someone wealthy. There are other pennies, other nickels, even quarters that could turn your everyday change into a small fortune. And in our next video, we're going to reveal another coin that's shocking collectors with its skyrocketing value. You don't want to miss that. So the question I leave you with is this: when was the last time you really looked at your pennies? Because the next one you find could be worth $992,000. Don't just save your change. Check your change. Because wealth, freedom, and opportunity might be waiting in the palm of your hand. What if I told you a simple 1996 D-Mint Mark Lincoln Memorial cent might not just be pocket change but a hidden treasure with a market value that today stretches all the way to $996,000? Yes, you heard that right, almost $1 million for a coin most people wouldn't bend down to pick up off the street. Now pause for a second. Think about how many of these coins have slipped through your fingers at the grocery store or jingled unnoticed in your car's cup holder. What if one of them wasn't just copper-plated zinc but your ticket to generational wealth? And here's the question that will stay with you until the end of this video: is that coin already in your possession? Let's set the stage. The year is 1996. Bill Clinton is president. The internet is still a curiosity, and the US Mint in Denver is producing hundreds of millions of 1-cent coins. Most people thought of them as worthless background noise, but buried in that mountain of coins, a handful emerged with quality so rare they would one day turn into financial miracles. Now you might be asking, why would anyone pay close to $1 million for a penny? Simple. The world of coin collecting does not reward the ordinary. It rewards perfection. It rewards flaws. It rewards stories. And the 1996 D Lincoln cent has all three. First, the hunt for perfection. Collectors pay staggering amounts for coins that are graded mint state 67 or higher. Imagine a coin so flawless it looks like it was struck yesterday and never touched by human hands. In that condition, this penny leaps from face value into the realm of luxury assets. Second, the allure of mistakes. Some 1996 D cents left the mint with double dies, off-centered strikes, or weak mint marks. These tiny quirks, invisible to the casual eye, are worth their weight in gold, and not just metaphorically. One verified error can push the value of a penny into life-changing territory. Now, here's where it gets exciting. Think about this. Every day thousands of people dig through jars of coins, drawers of loose change, and inherited boxes from parents or grandparents, hoping for that hidden jewel. They are not hobbyists, they are treasure hunters, and some of them cash out in ways that make Wall Street jealous. But wait, let me interrupt for a second. Have you ever noticed how every time you need exact change you can never find it? But when you don't need it, pennies are everywhere. That's not just irony, that might be fate dropping wealth at your feet. Back to the story. The latest record sale for a 1996 D Lincoln penny reached $996,000, almost $1 million. Imagine the heart-pounding moment when the owner realized their spare change was about to buy a mansion, a luxury car, or a debt-free life. And here's the part that should make your pulse race. If such coins exist in circulation right now, you could already own one without knowing it. Think about the last coin you tossed into a tip jar. What if you just tipped away your shot at a Fortune. So what does this mean for you? It means opportunity is sitting quietly in your home. It might be in that dusty jar of coins in your kitchen cabinet. It might be tucked inside an old wallet passed down from your father or grandfather. It might even be hiding in the pocket change you carried home today. The path to wealth is not always about big investments. Sometimes it's about noticing the extraordinary hidden in the ordinary, and the 1996 D. Lincoln Memorial cent is proof of that. But let me ask you this: what would you do if tomorrow you discovered a coin in your possession worth nearly $1 million? Would you sell it right away? Would you hold it and watch it grow in value, or would you pass it on as a legacy? Here's the truth: the market is moving fast. Collectors are hungry for rare pennies, and values can shift in the blink of an eye. The longer you wait to check your coins, the higher the chance you'll miss out. So here is your next step. Go right now. Dig through those jars, search those drawers, open those old piggy banks, because the coin that transforms your future may already be waiting for you. And if you want to know how to spot these treasures and get them appraised, subscribe to this channel right now. This is where stories of wealth hidden in plain sight are revealed. Because sometimes the smallest coin carries the biggest fortune, and the question that should haunt you until you act is this: did you already spend your $1 million penny without ever knowing?